Hello everyone, my name is Saradietschy, rhymes with Peachy. I would say that I'm a storyteller, a podcaster, a documentary filmmaker, and yes, a YouTuber. It's a very cool time because so many people want to make videos and a lot of people want to be a YouTuber. So maybe you're a parent, maybe your 13-year-old wants to be a YouTuber. So this is going to be a very basic video. So Peachy Fam out there, I know you guys are creative geniuses. If this isn't for you, hey, maybe you have a friend, a daughter, a son to send this video to. And thank you Intel for sponsoring this video. They're all about empowering creativity and equipping creators with the tools that they need to create. Intel is everywhere. Their 8th generation processors are in MacBooks, Dell desktops. Probably most of the computers that you've ever used, Intel has been in there. But today I'm talking about a new exciting technology from them called Intel Optane Memory. So I'll get into that a little bit more later, but let's just hop right into it. So I'm gonna break it down. What cameras do you need? What should you edit on? What programs should you edit on? And then how in the world do you get in front of this camera and talk to it? Beyond just telling you what the budget options are, I want to tell you how to do this for free, kind of. They always say that the best camera is the one that they have on you. So when it comes to cameras, when it comes to filming, use your phone. If you don't have a phone, I'm sure your parents have a phone or your siblings or even, again, your grandma. Honestly, the cameras on phones for the past 5 years have been amazing and it's so easy to create dope stuff from it because, comparing today's phone footage to my dad's crappy camcorder that I started out on, Dios mío. Yeah, no, you got it good. Just pick up a phone. If you want to take that extra step with your phone, there's a lot of great apps out there. The number one I would recommend is the Filmic Pro app. It is $14.99 in the App Store, but it allows you to take your phone camera and be able to manually control it. You can set the points differently for exposure and focus. You can actually rack focus. You can change the ISO and aperture manually, the auto white balances, the type of lenses you use. It's a fantastic app. That's the free option, but if you want to take that next step, I would definitely recommend a point and shoot camera. Now, these can be around $500 to up to $1,000. The one I recommend is easily the Sony RX100, but once you start getting at $1,000 or even over that, I'd recommend a mirrorless or a DSLR camera with interchangeable lenses. That way you're gonna have the flexibility to shoot wide, to shoot tight, to shoot anything that you want, and the image quality is going to be much better because you're gonna have a bigger sensor in that camera. The thing that's great about a phone or a point and shoot is you literally point and shoot and it's gonna capture a pretty good image, but once you get farther along, you wanna get fancy with it, then you wanna throw your cameras into manual mode. This basically allows you to get the image that you exactly want and adjust the focus and adjust the exposure, aka how much light that you're letting into the camera manually. And how you do that, there's basically 3 things that you have to worry about. You're gonna have the aperture and the shutter speed. Now those 2 things just control how much light comes in through your lens and hits the sensor of the camera. The aperture is how much your lens is going to open up to let the amount of light in. So if you have an f2 aperture, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna let a ton of light in. If you have an f4 aperture, then it's gonna be a little bit smaller. It's gonna let less light in. And you're not gonna have as much bokeh in the background. And since we're talking about video, shutter speed is a pretty basic rule where you want your shutter speed to be double the frame rate. So if you're shooting 24 frames per second, then your shutter speed is going to wanna be 1/50. Now there is some leeway with that. You can kind of crank the shutter a little bit. However, it will affect the motion blur of the subject you're shooting a little bit. The third thing is ISO. This allows you to add artificial light to your image. You actually don't want to crank that up because that's when you start getting artificial noise and the image doesn't look good, but cameras are so great nowadays that you can have ISO 4000 and your image is still gonna look good and you're gonna have that extra light. So now you film something beautiful, but you have to have an editor and a computer to edit this video to upload it to YouTube. Me personally, I got started on iMovie. It comes with every single Apple product and it's a great place to start. However, a more professional system that is on par with a lot of people in the industry are using, and it is very similar to Adobe Premiere, but it doesn't have that $50 a month price tag for the Creative Cloud, is DaVinci Resolve. It's free. Literally free. It kind of merges the best things about Premiere and Final Cut into one. And have I mentioned it's free? And I'm actually gonna show you the basics so you're not scared to get into it, so you have no excuses. But in order to edit, you need a computer. So this is where I wanna share a little bit about Intel's new technology, Intel Optane memory, and why it's important to you. For the past month, I've been using an Origin PC equipped with Intel Optane memory to edit and upload my YouTube videos. It's a less expensive way to get the editing speed of YouTube pros, but not having to sacrifice the capacity that is on your drives to hold all of your huge video files. Since we're talking about the basics in this video, let's go basic. There's two types of drives that you can have your computer: an HDD, a hard disk drive, or an SSD, a solid state drive. SSD is much faster, but it's more expensive. An HDD is much more affordable, so you'll be able to get 2 terabytes of storage instead of only 256 with an SSD. A typical video of mine is 30 to 50 gigs of footage, so that adds up pretty quick. But with an Intel Optane memory module that's only around $60, it can take your HDD drive and give it SSD-like speeds. Your system boots up fast, you can load up creative applications without any delay, and be able to load up all that beautiful footage that you shot in seconds. It's a new type of memory that adapts to what you do most and then accelerates that. So if you're curious about some computers that have this Intel Optane memory, link down in the description below, but let's get back to DaVinci Resolve, because if you've noticed, I've started a project. I have imported all of my clips, organized it into files, so this is actually a previous video that you guys have seen. If you film in order of how you want your video to be, it's gonna be much easier with organization and finding the clips that you want. Click on the clip that you want, set in and out points of what you actually want in your timeline, which is below. That will be where you edit your final video. And once those clips are on the timeline, you can use the tools in Resolve, whether it's the dynamic trim mode or the trim edit mode, to trim the ends of your clip. Say you wanna drop in music, you download it from wherever on the interwebs, import it into your project, and then just drop it on the timeline below that first audio waveform. So all of your video tracks are gonna be stacked above, and then all the audio are down below. And if you wanna add some effects or color correct your footage, I would say that's the next step in bringing your videos to the next level. You can go to the different modes in Resolve to do that. It's actually crazy how familiar this was to me, and it didn't take me long at all to learn, but I am going to leave some links in the description below that will be helpful if you want to learn this editor in and out. Sarah, how do I be on camera without being awkward? Well, I hate to break this news to you, but it takes practice, and yeah, it's gonna be hecka awkward in the beginning. I have unlisted so many cringy YouTube videos that I've made in the past, but guess what? A few of them are still up. I talk like this, and I'm just not my normal self, and I'm really quiet, and I'm shy. I'm gonna show you how many lenses fit in each one, you know, the unique characteristics of them, and compare the size and stuff. So I hope you enjoy. So when it comes to stepping in front of a camera and filming yourself, make so many videos. Just make. And you will know when you have a video that you're so proud of that you're not scared to share to your friends or family, that's when you know you're onto something and you're good. And another nugget of wisdom that I learned in my 8th grade theater class that 100% applies to the camera is when you're on stage. So I was the town fool in my 8th grade play. I was a little goofy, but something that the teacher told us is you have to go out on that stage and give 150% because that will come off as normal to the crowd. So if you're giving 100%, then that's gonna come off as like 60% to the audience, and they're just gonna be like, meh, is she even having fun? You gotta go that extra mile and give that 150%. A few more pointers of advice. 1, find a niche. What do you love to do? Intern, apprentice, work, go to school, do anything that you possibly can to be a productive human being and find what you love in life. And if you love making videos too, bam, boom. That will be amazing because it's so much more fun watching someone who is passionate about something, even if it's knitting. If you make dope videos about knitting quilts, guess what? You're gonna find an audience. Number 2, in the beginning, quality over quantity. notice that I say in the beginning. Eventually, it is important to have a schedule and create expectation with your already existing audience, but in the beginning, quality matters because you want to make videos that your family, your friends, the videos that you're making for maybe other people, they're gonna send that video to so many people because they're so proud of it and they're so stoked on it. So in the beginning, find what you love, focus on making quality stuff about that. And the last thing, number 3, wherever you're creating content, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, they're all kind of the same, right? Think about opportunity, not the money. When I was in college, I went on a trip to Greece with like 30 or 40 other people. It was like 6 people in one room, but it was so fun. And it was with a company, like a tour company. And at that time, I loved making videos. So I was like, I'm gonna bring all of my equipment. I'm gonna make the dopest recap video ever. And hey, maybe this company will give me a free trip or maybe even pay me to make a recap video of maybe another trip. So yes, at the time I only had 1,000 subscribers and that video only had a couple thousand views, but oh my gosh, the company loved it. And guess what? They paid me to make a recap video of another trip. So think outside the box of all the opportunities that can come from this, not just the, oh, I need thousands of views so I can get thousands of dollars of Google AdSense. Because the opportunity is in that gray area between that. But thank you again to Intel for sponsoring this video. Guys, I'm not joking about Intel's Optane memory. Check it out in the description below, along with some PCs that are maybe in your price range. Maybe you want to start like up there, maybe go for an Origin PC. Those are gonna start around $1,500, but you can get such a powerful machine for that. But maybe you're more around the price range of 1,000 or maybe even below that. I'll provide some links in the description below as well. But I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know if you like this video and hit that subscribe button for new videos every single week. And if you have any more questions, I know I covered so much stuff, please leave a comment down below. If I can't answer it, maybe some of my creative genius Peachy Fam members can answer it. Yeah, this was fun. Until next time, stay peachy. Okay, bye.